morning. You're listening to 92.7 Arrow FM, and this is the Nothing Personal show with Nikki King. We're sponsored by Hot Yoga for You. Good morning, Sherry. Thank you for your support. And we're also sponsored by Fuzzbox Designs, which is my business. We do a bit websites, graphic design, and social media, that kind of thing. Anything digital, really, we'll have a go at. So if you want anything digital, give us a ring. Nothing Personal is part of the Facebook community, which is the Wairarapa Women in Business, and there's 600 women in that group now, so it's getting pretty sizable. And we meet up on the first Friday of the month at Clareville Bakery, and the third Friday of the month we meet up at Don Luciano for coffee. So that's quite cool. And we've got this group that goes on Facebook. You can join it if you're a woman and you're in business. Head over to that, just put the keywords into the search and you'll find us. And we each Monday morning 9:30, that's when we go live on radio. We feature a different businesswoman from the group, or it could be a businessman who's got something interesting that he wants to sell to women, or even just anybody really. But you know, the focus is on women in the show. That's our specialist area. And this morning I've got Anna Rutherford on the show, and she's a photographer. Now, everything's changed in the studio because we just moved, so I'm going to have to check the mic. So do you want to talk into that one and say hello, Anna?
Good morning.
That's not that one. Try this one.
Good morning.
Hold on. Let's try them all. Try that one.
Good morning.
That one.
Hello.
One.
Hello.
Oh. Not got any mics at the moment. Just hold on. I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry. Try that one.
Good morning.
You know, moving is such a big problem. Hello.
Hello.
You had many hellos there. So how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Very well.
Yeah. Cool. That's brilliant. I think I've got the right mic now. So, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Anna Rutherford, and I've recently moved back to Masterton after a long time away. I grew up here and left when I was after school, and travelled and lived all over the place, and recently come back with my family and to settle back in Masterton and bring up the kids and give them the lovely rural small town lifestyle that I had as a child. Yeah.
So do you want to tell me a bit about what you do?
So I'm a photographer, which is something I've recently come back to as well. And I've set up a little family photography business. It's Anna Rutherford Photography, and I specialise in children and families, and branching out into weddings very shortly.
Oh, nice. It's the season soon?
It is. So that's going to be exciting. And as part of my photography, I've started a project called Masterton and Me, which is about the people of Masterton and what it is about Masterton that people love, just to try and get some people talking about our town and our place, and hear what people love about it.
Because it's a really interesting and diverse place, isn't it? Really.
Yes.
And I know I've only been here. I moved not last May, but the May before, so just over a year. And it's been a really interesting place to come to, because I live down the road in Carterton and I came into Masterton fairly regularly, but living here is a very different experience. Yeah. You get to know the diverse community that is Masterton. Yeah. Because I think in Carterton it's probably not quite as diverse.
Yeah, I haven't spent much time in Carterton, to be honest, myself, but I was just amazed after, the town is very different from the town now than the town that I left, and it's there is so much going on. There's so many interesting people and so much creativity and wonderful things happening and people doing great stuff, and it's really exciting, and it's such a seems to be such a as you say, diverse and wonderful place to be. It's really exciting.
So what I know, because I'm a graphic designer, I sort of work with quite a few photographers, and each one tends to have a different specialty. Do you have anything that you're more drawn to as a photographer?
I think what I photograph, my best photographs are of children. Yeah. And it's what I've always kind of done since I began, many years ago. Yeah. I think it's the I love my children's photographs more than most of the others. Just because I don't. It's not much of it is set up. It's all very natural, and using the in their environment and using the natural light and, just capturing the children being children.
Yeah, they've got some wonderful expressions, children,
yeah,
don't they?
Sure do. Yeah.
And they're not, I would say they're probably, I don't know, because you get to adults, you get very self-conscious about being photographed, but kids are less conscious of that, aren't they?
They are, and it's wonderful. It's quite funny, like you take a photo of a family and the mum and dad are sitting there with their big smiles on their faces and the kids are, and they're kind of like saying, shh, just, smile, don't poke each other, whatever. And it's like, just let the kids be the kids, because that's the pictures that you want to get. You kind of don't want to force them to be what they're not.
No. You see, I love candid photography, and being in a band, you get photographed quite a lot, and I used to hate being photographed, but now, get people at gigs photographing you in your most weirdest moments where you're pulling your tongue out or your eyes are closed or something like that. So I've just got completely over that. But, I love those candid shots that they get. I love those shots now. I've got to the stage where I think, well, that is what we look like. Yeah. And you get some really wonderful... I love seeing those, you get the photographers who go out on the street and capture people enjoying events and things like that. They're quite interesting. Yeah. I know Jeff Walker used to do quite a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you like children, but this project that you're doing is completely different.
Yes. So
tell us a little bit about that.
The project is called Mastered in Me, and it's an ongoing documentary, really. It began probably about a year ago, and it will continue for as long as people want to share what it is about Mastered and that they love. So it's anybody and everybody. Like, there's no restrictions, or you don't have to be someone that's done something, or you can be whoever you are, and as long as you've got something that you want to share about what you love about Masterton. So so the at the moment, the photos that I've done, some of them are exhibited on the wall of WBS in Park Street. So they're quite big, and they've got they're very simple, I think, simple black and white photographs, and it's the people in their chosen environment or their chosen landscape. So they get to choose where they want their photograph taken and sit or stand or be however they want to be. It's all kind of led by them, and I take the photo and work with it, and they tell me about Masterton and what it is that they love, and that goes up beside it. And so it's I guess it's a moment in time, really, as well. Yeah. These people in their place and, loving Masterton.
There's the sort of a history, aren't there? Because we just had a load of band photography done, and we went off and our photographer picked somewhere, and then we picked somewhere, and our drummer picked to go outside of the Empire Building. Great. And that's going to be gone. So like we're all almost like documenting history. Yes. Those pictures will be like, oh well, there they are in front of the Empire Building just before it went. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like interesting. You take those snapshots of time. Yes,
and that's it. And I'm exhibiting the photos at the end of the year at Aratoi. Aratoi have been amazing in supporting my project, and the photos will be gifted to Aratoi for them to have forever.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's so the whoever is involved in the project at the moment will be forever
immortalised.
Immortalised, I guess. Yeah. And as because I find that so interesting. I love looking back at old photos of, in the past, and historical photos and things. And, in 100 years' time, these will be those. And,
they will, yeah.
Who knows what the world will be like then, and, what Masterton will be like. But it'll be a little snapshot, as you say, of now and the people that were here. And,
I'm big into history. That's one of my things that I really love. And when you come to a new country, you're not aware of any of that when you first arrive. And I've done quite a lot of poking around in back in time. I'd love to have gone to where they had that was it called Centreport or something?
Centrepoint. Yes,
Centrepoint. It just looks such a fabulous place.
Oh, well, I remember that as a kid. It was so much fun. There was this fantastic record shop down the bottom, and there, and the cafe up the top, and it was always so much fun when you went in
like
there.
A tower. There was a tower in there, far out. Yeah, I just can't imagine it. And if I could go back in time and have my picture taken there, I think that's probably where I'd go.
Yes.
It sounded such a fabulous place.
Yeah, it's funny you forget things like that. Yeah.
And looking back at Henley Lake and how they were going to have this big theme park.
Yes.
You know, that's Masterton.
Yeah.
That's what's brilliant about
Yeah.
it. There's all these possibilities.
Yes, I was thinking about the theme park the other day, and I wondered if I'd imagined that, because I was sure that someone had said, "Oh, they're going to build this huge thing. It's going to be like Disneyland."
No, because if you look at the history, I go back and sort of research things, and it would just be wonderful. Those towers that they've got there are wonderful. They're a wonderful
Yes.
bit of architecture that make you go off and
Yeah.
research them and go, why are they there? You know, because they look interesting.
Yeah.
And they also sort of look like how that centre whatever it was, point.
Yeah, centre point.
Centre point was, they've got that shape about them as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, there was a thread going on there
Yeah.
at that stage in time.
And did you find, what were the towers there for? Or did you find out?
I think they were just observation towers.
Yeah.
But they don't let people in there now, but they must have a great view from the top up there.
Yeah.
And everybody goes there and takes a picture of the sky and
Yeah.
those towers. Sort of a bit of a cliche now, I suppose, but brilliant. I love it, and I love Henley Lake. So
Yeah, Henley Lake's amazing.
Yeah. So what got you into photography? Have you always been a photographer?
Yes, I have. I studied photography at school as
Right.
a seventh form subject, and just never really wanted to do anything other than, I suppose, be creative. And photography was the art form that kind of I fell into or enjoyed the most, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, in the days when I learnt photography, it was all on film, and there was something very special about going into the dark room and developing your film and then seeing your images appear before you. It was just it took a long time for me actually to embrace the digital form, but it's where it is now, and it is, I mean, it's so much easier, and there's also a lot of skill involved in editing your photos.
Yes, there is.
But it's just a different way of editing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think you can potentially get away with a lot more in the taking of the photo, because you can then correct it when you're
in the post. Yeah, I've done a bit of that.
As opposed to with shooting on film, you've got to do it. You've got to get it right.
Exactly.
You've got to compose. You can't. I mean, you can crop, I suppose, a little bit, but your exposure and everything had to be.
I know, and then you get them like I've only ever took on film with the little compact cameras that used to get 110 film when I was a kid, and the little cartridges before like 35mm was a thing, and well, for people who could afford it, you know, and you get them back and they were all out of focus, or there's some random photo that you took a picture of you for. You can't delete. You can delete that now, can't you?
No, exactly. Yeah, it's like when the kids get hold of the camera or the iPad or your phone, and you've suddenly got all these photos of all sorts of things. It's like, what? But that's cool too, because they see things in such a different way.
Yeah, my husband was really into film when I first met him. Well, it was before digital became a thing, I suppose. And he used to take lots of photographs on film. But do you still do any film photography?
No, I don't. I haven't for a while. I did. We lived in the UK for a long time, and I actually got myself an enlarger, and I set up a little dark room, and I was trying not to embrace the digital too much, and but that was a while ago now, and no, I don't, and I have my cameras still, but I don't know work anymore. I've been sitting idle for such a long time.
I think we gave away or got rid of all of our 35mm stuff. Film stuff just before we moved. Yeah. And Pete had been keeping it in the garage because he might come back to it. But
I know I'm a bit the same. Mine's all in a box somewhere, just in case. I think I would really like my kids to experience it, though. Like having putting the whole process of putting the film in the camera, and because it's so different now.
I know.
It's like life, isn't it? Everything's so easy, and it's it's right there when you take your photo and you've got your photo, and instead of going through the whole process. So I think it would be cool to teach the kids a little bit about it and what used to be when they're a bit bigger and can understand.
A bit like vinyl, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because there's a different character to film photos, and it's like the difference between MP3 and vinyl. And I think yeah, there's still some people going back to that and using that as their art form.
Yes.
But to get big pictures, that was my big frustration with it, because for a stage you could get them on film and on a CD, and to get really big pictures you had to go for those big medium format cameras that were completely out of your price range, whereas you got all these megapixels now, and as a graphic designer I can make big posters out of just an ordinary digital camera.
Yeah, well, that's like this project, the images on the wall, I think are very big, and they're, you know, as good quality as they would be if they were, you know, and you certainly wouldn't be able to do that, as you say, with a 35mm camera. You'd have to go the medium large format, and
So you say you're coming into the season now, you're going to be looking at doing wedding photography.
Yes, I am. I've actually there's I don't know, it was on More FM, they had a competition for
my CrossFit coach and his partner, my coaches, they won it.
Oh, well, I'm doing the photos for them on Friday.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Hey Al, hey better. I'm interviewing your photographer today. Isn't that
I haven't
awesome?
actually met them yet.
They're beautiful people, really lovely.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, it's going to be great.
Lovely character that you could capture.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So they punished me in the gym though. Eh?
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I went back to the gym last week, guys, after the sickness, and Saturday morning's workout was pretty brutal. Let me tell you. Hey, so you actually, this is a wedding that you're doing now, and it's coming up to the season. Yes. So what's drawing you to wedding photography?
I just think wedding photography, I think, has changed quite a lot over recently, and the images that people are wanting and photographers are taking are really beautiful and really quite artistic.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Yeah, you can get they're just, it's all about the space again that people are in, and which I really love. And so I just think it's and also weddings are so cool. I love them. Although I'm terrible. I have photographed weddings before in the past, and I'm a bit of a crier. In the ceremony, dabbing at my eyes.
Just let me capture that. Don't make me emotional. I think those kind of things are quite emotional, though. It's a big thing, isn't it? And that's a great thing about photography as well. You can capture those special moments in your life. Yeah, and that's what I've always kind of claimed. I don't know my word, but with my photography is that I capture the moment. And that's what it is for me. It is capturing the moment. It's not about setting something up, and of course there is a bit of that, but it's about just being there and kind of not getting in the way, and not saying do this and do that, but just being there and letting and capturing the moments. Well, that's cool. We'll have to pull you in for our next EP cover for Spank, because we always get a different photographer, because that I think that you capture something different every time.
Yes.
So we've had a number of different people. The first one we had was Jade Svetkov. And now she works for the Times Age now, but she's always really good at sports stuff.
She takes beautiful photos.
She does, And then we had Jeff Walker, who made us look like we were like the Eagles or something, like rock stars.
Awesome.
And the third one we had was actually Sam took it, my son, and I did all the post production on it. So
great.
So it was a joint family thing. Now he's now playing in the band, and then the fourth one was Robin Kippen.
Oh yes.
But I was really pleased that she wanted to work with me, because I wanted to do all the post on it. She got us posed completely how I wanted it. Yeah. But then I did all the post production on it. Yeah. So so it's interesting that you get a different capture from each person.
Yeah. And that's great to let them, obviously your ideas of what you want to do, but letting them put their own spin on it.
Oh yeah. Because the photographer, like, we just had another load of, because my boys just joined the band, another load of photos done, and it was interesting that we had Lucia Sanmonti, and she's quite architectural, and she's really good with black and white, and they were really good. It was like interesting that she caught the character and the detail, because you can get quite a lot of detail in people's faces, can't you?
Yeah, which some people don't like so much if they've got things that they don't, too many wrinkles or too many,
No, but isn't that what makes us?
Well, I think so. Yes.
Yeah, because I was talking to somebody, another photographer once, and we were talking about doing headshots, and I was like, well, I wouldn't like to be over-processed. I don't really like those when people are over-photoshopped.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look real, does it?
Not me.
No. Exactly. Yeah, I'm all for the natural.
So do you mostly enjoy photographing people, or do you get out there and do some landscapes sometime?
Yes, I do. I actually started just on my Instagram account this year. My aim was to do a photo a day for a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and because it was, to try and get me looking a little bit more, and you get so focused on where you're going and what you're doing, you forget to look around. And it was, yeah. And a lot of those images are more landscape or kind of abstract. There's a lot of my kids, because that's where I spend a lot of my time. And also we're building a house, so a lot of the house as well, and our land. But yeah, I do enjoy landscapes. I think I need to spend more time photographing landscapes, because it's a whole different, I'm so used to photographing people, and I know how to do that quite well, and the landscape is a lot different, so it's setting things up differently. And
what amazes me is you look at I love skies and landscapes, looking at them like the real world. I spend a lot of time focused on the mountains or the skies or something, but when you take a photo, it doesn't always look.
No,
landscapes are tricky, aren't they?
And that's it. And that's when I say, spending more time doing it, because you see some amazing landscape photographs that are they're just they're beautiful. And we've got, this landscape around here is stunning. We've got the mountain. Every day I look at the mountains and I'm like, whoa, that's so cool.
And there's such a different escape on them, like with the clouds.
Yeah, and they're different every time.
Every day. Yeah. They have a character every day,
they
and
do.
You know what's coming, because you can see what's happening on the mountain.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, you can't see the mountain, it's raining.
Yeah. When we first moved back, I was a bit blown away actually by the mountains, because I don't remember as a kid growing up here how I don't remember ever thinking of, look at the mountains, aren't they beautiful? And I guess as a child, or as a teenager, you're too busy in your own, absorbed in your own stuff, aren't you? So you don't really, but I was quite amazed at how beautiful Masterton is, or I was going to say has become, but it's always been this, hasn't it? So
and there's mountains on both sides.
I know.
So we're lucky, we've got those mountains on that side. They've got another character. I remember taking my little boy up to Gladstone, and he was only about 3, and he commented on how beautiful it was down there.
That's great.
So I got one child who's really focused on the details.
Yeah.
He may go into photography, who knows? So what's your Instagram account? You might get some followers.
It's just Anna Rutherford Photography. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I'll follow that.
Yeah.
I've got a few Instagram accounts because I manage them for the band and the business and stuff. On my Wairarapa Nikki one, I got a bit abstract. I have a little project called Scenic Supermarket.
Oh, cool.
So every time I go to the supermarket and I send my husband in, I try and find something interesting about sitting in the car park.
Right.
So there's
you'd probably find quite a few interesting things, I would have thought.
So Scenic Supermarket was just a sort of funny project with the keyword Scenic Supermarket. And so people started commenting it, because I was sending them to Facebook as well.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, she's gone in. Sometimes I take a picture inside. People were like.
Oh, that's great.
But because there's so many possibilities with social media now, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm not terribly good on social media, I have to say. I need to learn a bit more, but it's a great way to get yourself known and your name out there, isn't it?
Yeah, and Instagram's growing so much now, and that's all photography based, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody has a camera now, so everything's instant.
Yeah, exactly.
They all have a phone with this. So do you enjoy taking any pictures on your smartphone? Here's an interesting question.
I do. Well, I do take a lot of pictures on my phone because it's always with me, and I don't have my big camera with me all the time. Most of the photos on my Instagram account are taken from my iPhone, and they take beautiful photos.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, you're going to be carried on with Masterton and Me.
Yep. Yes, I am. It's ongoing. As long as people want to be involved, I will take their pictures, and because WBS have been great, and they've said I can use the wall for as long as I want to, and I replace. At the moment, I think it's the second lot of 7 images up there.
Yeah.
And another lot are going up before the block party.
Yeah.
Next month, and so it's just I'll just keep doing it. But it's funny because you talk to people and you tell them about the project, and they're like, "Oh, what a great idea! It was so wonderful." I'm like, "Would you like to be involved?" "Oh no, I don't want to have my photo taken." It's like, "Oh, come on."
So what do you think it is about people and them not wanting their photograph taken?
I don't know. I mean, I can't say I enjoy having my photo taken terribly much, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, but I didn't like having my photograph taken. I think what I find difficult is when I pose, I don't look like me. I'm not very good at posing. Yes.
I'm better when people catch me in a candid position. It's like, because I just put this stupid smile on, and it's like, it looks worse than just standing there looking angry. Yeah. So I tend to put, especially with Spank now, I tend to put the angry face on because it's got more character than this. See, I can't smile. So I think that's what I don't like. It's like having to put a smile on rather than somebody making me laugh. And some photographers are really good at that. Putting you at your ease.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's is quite a skill. I do my best, and that's why I guess the kids are so great, because I can relate to the kids because I've got 4 of my own, and it's you chat to them and you tell them silly jokes or get them, and then in doing that, if you're photographing at parents as well, that puts the parents at ease as well. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know why people don't like having the photo taken.
No, but it's true, isn't it? And they're like, I was talking to somebody this morning, and they were talking about blogging. Yeah. And I said, I'm vlogging, video logging my CrossFit journey at the moment. If you want to follow that, you can go to Nikki's CrossFit Journey, Couch to CrossFit on Facebook, and on YouTube. I've not got a website for it yet, but I probably will do. And somebody was saying, I don't even like having my photograph taken. I couldn't video vlog. Yeah, you get over it pretty quick though. You get over yourself after about 3 of them. Although I did try and edit all my out, and then I realised I said that far too many times. I would be there longer editing them out. But I think people are probably self-conscious, eh? So if people want to get involved with it, because I actually think if you've got something that you really love about Masterton, and I think you should get in touch with Anna and be part of this project, because it's a historical thing. I think so. Yeah. And capturing ordinary people is just as important as capturing the celebrities, local celebrities. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what it, it initially started. It was never going to be about having, celebrities, but people, if you want to be photographed, I'm not going to say no. So, I think that's what it's become. People think it's more about if you have to be someone, like I said to someone the other day, would you like to be part of the project? But I haven't done anything. It's like, well, you're you, and you love Masterton, so that's all that you need. So, no, but to get in touch with me, I do have a Facebook page. It's Masterton and Me on Facebook, and also an email account, which is mastertonme@gmail.com, so you can email me. But all the information's on the Facebook page. So,
So if you're in Masterton and you've got something you love about Masterton, why don't you get involved? I think it would be fantastic. I'm going to do it. She's talked me into it already. I'm just finding it really, really difficult to think of one place that I like the best to have my photograph taken. Yeah. And is it just individuals, or would you take like a band?
Yes, for sure. Yep, I've done a couple of groups. I've done the what are they called? The little train around the vintage railway group.
Miniature railways.
Miniature railway, that was cool. And Con Art I've done.
Nice.
Those guys that set up Con Art. And Aratoi is coming up in a minute. All the guys that work there, and
You should do Arrow.
I should
get
do Arrow.
Veronica and Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, these guys are they're legendary, aren't they? Like
Yeah.
running this access station for everybody.
Yeah.
And what a fantastic thing it's become now with all these cameras. And I think that's thanks to Toby and Wairarapa TV. So
Yeah.
it's pretty, things are growing. And
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's as I said before, it's amazing to see what is here. And often you have to go looking for it, I've found.
Yeah.
It's not so obvious, but once you find it.
yeah, I can think of a
Yeah.
few women in the group in Wairarapa Women in Business who should get involved in this project. You should put it up on Talk It Up Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah,
I
that's
reckon
a
you'll
good
get
idea.
a few.
I had Shari actually. She was my first subject. She and Shane and Livy. It was great. She was
It's
it's
lovely.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shari.
and they're also photogenic.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
so nice.
Mm.
So is there anything else happening in your photography business just now?
Not so much, just ticking away, just the family portraits and the kids. It's quite funny. Have over the winter, no one wants to have their photo taken, and I love photographing people in winter because it's so stark and there's just something.
Yeah, I like the light.
Yeah.
I keep saying to the band we should have our picture taken at the top of Ramataka. I think that when it's windy and your hair's going everywhere,
Yeah.
and I think that's just so characterful.
Yes.
That you get some really good.
Well, you would actually, because it's so moody there all
exactly.
the time, isn't it?
Yeah. I like that gritty, sort of moody kind of feel,
Yeah.
And I'd really love to sort of take a picture in each of the towns, and yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
With a band sort of project, but you never have time to do it all.
Yeah, you could
Excuse
do
me.
a seasonal, each season to a different town. Although, yeah.
That'd be quite cool to take one place through the seasons and see how it changes.
Yeah.
Like the lake changes quite a lot. I spend a lot of time up there when watching the sort of birds and stuff popping. There's a couple when there's chicks and when there's, I'm a bit sad though. So you can put the mics on this morning, but I will apologise for myself now and say that I was sick last week, in fact quite sick. So my brain's turned to custard at the moment. So what I'm going to do now, we're halfway through, so I always take a little break in the middle and play something off my playlist. And my other big passion is grassroots Kiwi music. I really love the little bands that are not really on the radar just yet. And I think I've got sort of a bit of a network now, and they send me the new stuff. I think it's probably because I was involved in Glastonbury. I'm not this year, but the last couple of years I've been involved and been the contact for these bands. So I got in my email about 2 weeks ago some new Groove Lagoon. Now, if you've been listening to this show regularly, I absolutely love this band. I think they're really good. They're based in Auckland, and they're loads of young lads, really nice guys, really good music, and I think they've got a really good chance of breaking through. And this song that they've got is called Sway, and they sent it to me about 2 weeks ago, and I forwarded it straight on to Jamie, who also loves them. He was the stage manager at Glastonbury, and here is Sway. You've been listening to 92.7 Arrow FM, and this is the Nothing Personal Show with Nikki King. And that was Sway by Groove Lagoon, who are a fantastic band from Auckland, and that's a new release out on Spotify. So you can go and look them up on Spotify, and you can actually add that to your playlist, because that's really good if you do that for musicians, especially small musicians. That helps them gain some traction, and other people will put them on their playlist too. So if you like Groove Lagoon, add them to your playlist, and you'll get to know when they bring out their new stuff. In the studio this morning, I've got Anna Rutherford with me, and she's a photographer, and she takes all sorts of photographers, and she got a project, Masterton and Me. Yeah, I remembered, woo, which you can be part of, which is really cool. So you're going to be photographing this big competition, More FM, next week. What are you looking forward to about that? That's quite novel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's I think it's just a great opportunity to again get some exposure and to be part of this great wedding.
I know. They must be crazy, eh? 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I know. Imagine. Gosh, most weddings take months to plan, don't they? But I think the best way to do it is to do it quickly, and
yeah,
especially if you don't have to organise it.
No. Well, we did ours pretty quickly. I was talking about that. I think it was over the weekend in 2001, just after 9/11. We decided to get married, but within the month. So we just had 8 people at our wedding. I had a red dress, and we got our reception was in a local bar in Wigan, and we didn't have a photographer, which is a bit of a a regret that after the fact, because some people did take photos, but we got a picture of us in the in this bar. And Pete's mum had made a cake that had a red inside to match my dress. So it looked like Psycho, the knife was red. And in the background, there was some like erotic art. So it looked like something out of Transylvania. I tell you what, if you're interested, guys out there, I'll put it up on my Facebook page, Nothing Personal. I'll do that later on, my wedding photo, so you can have a look at it. But it was just taken on just a compact camera, so I haven't really got a record of our, well, I have, but it's not a professional one.
Yeah.
So it's always worth, even if you're having a small wedding, just getting somebody to
take a few pictures of the day. Yeah. It's funny because you talk to people and what kind of photos would you like for your wedding? Oh, nothing too much, just a little record of the day. But in the end, they actually, I always try anyway to do, get as many pictures as I can, and all the little moments, like, I don't worry about the picture of the cake or of the dress before I'm putting it on, or the rings or whatever, but it's those little bits, I think, that remind you the most, when you're looking back. They're the things that bring back the most memories, because they're the moments when you, feeling excited or nervous before you, as you were getting dressed, and, and they also, I think they take the most, those are the much more intimate, but also much more natural. The ones where you can be a little bit, again, it's the not set up, and it's the natural ones that,
So what's the weirdest wedding photo you've took?
The weirdest wedding
photo? The weirdest request you've had for some... Because I went to a wedding once and we all had to get on a combine harvester, which it's probably not weird round here, then.
No.
But for a girl from a town in England, getting on a combine harvester was different. It was out of my league.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I haven't had any really weird ones, I don't think. Not that I can...
You must get some good moments, though, because I know with digital now, you can just snap away, can't you? You can just take thousands of pictures.
Yeah.
As long as you got the memory cards.
Exactly, yeah, and then you have to edit them or
pick the best ones.
Yes, I do. I take a lot of photos when I'm photographing, just because I can, and you don't want to miss, taking them back and going through the thousands of photos that you've taken to find the good ones. But that's what it's about, and that's why you do it.
And I think it's really good to have somebody impartial at your wedding because I think if you get a friend to do it, they get caught up in the day, whereas somebody who's not involved in the day is going around looking for the best.
Yeah, it's tricky too. I photographed a couple of friends' weddings, and that gets a bit tricky because you kind of want to be part of the day, but you're also there to
Yeah.
create this, or to take the photos and to give them a memory of the day.
That's right.
And that gets a bit tricky. So I don't. Yeah, it's not something I think I will do again as photograph a friend's wedding, just because you want to be, if you're going to be invited, of course, it's much better to be there and to enjoy it.
Exactly. Because it's you do want to be part of the day. I mean, I've been taking pictures when I was involved at Dalefield School, and they said, do some lemon calf. But you want to be part of what your kids are doing.
Yes, yeah.
It's like you do actually, and it becomes quite responsible.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
Not that I'm a great photographer or anything, but, I had a nice camera at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that for my kids too at funerals. They offer to take the photos, and
they're good days, aren't they?
Yeah, they are good days. But the Pets Day is not a day to be taking photos when you've got 2 dogs and a car and a lamb and 3 kids and no time for photos.
No. So you said you spent quite a lot of time in the UK. Whereabouts were you then?
I started off in London. I moved over there in beginning of 2004.
Yep.
And returned at the end of 2014. So we were there for 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a fair amount.
Yeah.
And that was always was it in London?
No, and by the time we left, we were living in a little village called Englefield Green, which is about 40 minutes west of London.
Oh, right, okay.
Near
so,
Windsor.
Yeah, so still around that area.
Yeah, so Surrey. But yeah, we lived there for probably about 6 years. Our 3 of our kids were born there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So
left New Zealand with a backpack and returned with 3 kids, a dog, a husband, and a container full of belongings.
That's right. So did you meet him over there?
Yes, he's from New Zealand, but I met him. No, actually, I met him at a wedding in Martinborough.
But found him in London.
Yeah, but he was living over there as well. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think we've all had those. We start off with a backpack, and then we inherit this whole thing, this massive thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I guess you have a choice, don't you? When you're living abroad, you either live out of your backpack and live that kind of life, or you settle. If you're going to be there for a while, you settle and make your life there, which is what we did. With kids, it was pretty difficult to.
A bit of a culture shock living 11 years in London and then coming back to Masterton, I would imagine.
Yes.
Because it was a culture shock to me to come north of Upper Hutt.
Yes.
Because you lose traffic just as you go up that road there and there's nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, gosh, I'd be sat in so much traffic in England trying to get anywhere. And coming to New Zealand was just like, is there any people here?
Yes, I know.
And they call the traffic jam about 3 cars.
I know. It's funny. We did do 2 years in Auckland before Masterton, so we kind of eased ourselves back into.
It's quite busy up there, though, eh?
Yeah.
So did you Auckland, and did you find time to photograph much of England and Auckland, or?
England a little bit, yes. Of course, when you're travelling, always taking photos, and Auckland as well. We lived in Te Aratu Peninsula, which is West Auckland, which was just such a great community and place to live. So yeah, not so much. A lot of the beaches. We spent a lot of time out at Muriwai, at the coast, and beautiful photos to be taken there. Yeah, but the photography has really come about since we've moved back to, as a career or as a job has come about since we've moved back to Masterton.
So what were you doing previous?
Being a mum, looking at
I've
kids.
done that. Yeah, I skilled myself up while I was 10 years at home.
Great.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to keep, if you're one of those kind of creative people, you got to keep your brain active all the time, and that's what I did. I was just like, oh my God, I'm at home with children. And then started my own business because I couldn't get a job because I was out of the workforce for such a long time. And
if you've got a skill or something that you really enjoy, then why not make that your, career or try and make it your career and
exactly.
And the photography is great because you can work around the kids. You can do, if you're doing weddings, they're on the weekends, or a lot of the family shoots that I do are on the weekends, and so the kids are mum's here, so she helps out, and
that's the same for me. I think that's what's good about having your own business as a woman is that you can work around. I work in my lounge. I call myself a boutique design agency. It's not my lounge, it's actually in the dining area, but it is my office, and I can work around all the things that I need to go on. So I could choose not to work during the day and work all night if I want to.
Yes.
And that's probably sometimes what I do. I like working at the weekends because I like things going on around me because you get really quiet in the house, eh?
Yes.
I should go down to 3 Mile and work down at the co-working space, but then I'd have to take all my gear and pack it all out.
Yeah, there is something lovely about being able to, get up in the morning and get everyone sorted and then go back to the house and sit and just work away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a studio or do you mostly do stuff on location?
No, it's on location. Yeah, no, I don't. I find I much prefer to photograph on location or in people's environments and just with the natural light, just because it's.
Yeah. What if somebody wanted a photo shoot? What would that involve? That's a good question, isn't it? I just thought of that one.
Involve as in to get in touch.
So what would they need? Did they get in touch, and then how would one run if you've not had your photo taken like that before?
Well, we'd have a conversation about where and what kind of photos you'd want for a start. Some people want quite formal, other people want very relaxed, other people want, one like this and one like that. And so we'd talk about what you're after, and then talk about where you want them to be taken. I'm very flexible. I can go anywhere, or we have a beautiful property as well, which people quite like to come to for the natural kind of rural look. Yeah. Which is quite cool. And so we just work out what it is you're after and organise a time and a date and work around the weather if it's not if it's raining or if it's find the best time and go from there.
So how long would a typical photo session take?
Probably about an hour. With kids especially, I find an hour's about the right time, because if they're little anyway, they get a bit distracted and bored, and and you can tell when I'm editing my photos, the beginning everyone's quite lively and happy, and by the end of it it's kind of like the smiles are a lot more forced, and it gets a bit trickier. But so I'd say an hour is a good time, depending on what we needed to get. I mean, the Master and Me photos are literally 10 minutes if we set them up, and very quick. So
I'm just thinking about the band. You'd never be able to tell with us. We're all dead serious, whether we were fed up or not. We'd be like. Although we were getting quite cold at the end of the last shoot because it was really cold, eh? Whereas the one we did with Jeff, we were up at Naui. Beautiful day, scorcher. But then that adds issues, doesn't it, when you go out in the middle of the day and the sun's really high?
No, it's not ideal to be photographing in the middle of the day because the shadows and the lights
are awful.
Yeah. The best time is on a day like today when it's overcast, high cloud, or that beautiful light that you get. For me, the beautiful light that you get at the end of the day.
Oh, I love
at the
that.
Moment it's about 5:30, 5:45, and it's just stunning.
Look at the light out there today. That's really good.
Yeah, I love that too. That's another idea I've had for.
Well, you get that white against the grey. It's just amazing.
There's some great little vistas in Masterton with the rooftops in the sky. It's really interesting, and that's
And I was doing it wasn't a scenic supermarket, it was actually outside the warehouse. I took one on for Instagram near those buildings, near the warehouse that are part of UCOL, where they're different colours, but the tops are white, and it was this kind of light, and it's just quite cool. You get some really good light. You get some really good light in Masterton.
Yes, you do, and it's always so different. And the skies here, I don't know. I guess it's because they're just massive skies, and I love them. A lot of my photos are actually of sky. My husband did say when I was with my photo a day project, he said, "There's a lot of sky, more sky today." It's like, well, look at the sky; it's so beautiful.
I love the sky. A lot of my songs are about looking at the sky, so it's like it's just that's what I do when I contemplate things. And I'm quite. When I go on Women in Business and I'm going, "Good morning, everyone. The sun is shining." I'm always taking note of the weather and the light because it sort of affects you, I think, if you're that kind of person.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, some great light.
I certainly noticed the change in people's moods, I suppose, over the last few days when it's been the warmth and the sun.
Yeah. You get some fantastic sunsets in this part of the world as well. And the minute you get on Facebook, all those photos come. Everybody's got the same clouds in a different way.
Yeah.
Or they've got it's interesting, the different kinds of phones, say the different colour tones, and it's like, oh yeah, God. But that's me being a graphic designer. I notice all these things. It's like, oh, but yeah, no, it's really cool. So yeah, I'm going to go and do this Masterton and me. Probably not today, but I will do it. You should too, definitely. So, can people go online and see some of your work?
Yes, I have a website which is AnnaRutherfordphotography.com.
Right.
I also have a Facebook page which is Anna Rutherford Photography, and then the Marston and Me Facebook page as well. So the website mainly I've got a blog on there which I put all my family shoots and things, so you can certainly see an example of how I take photos and what I do. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to find.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. So, and they could book, if they want to book, they can book online?
Yes, they can book online. You can go through my, just go straight to my email, so you can email me directly or through the website or via Facebook or give me a call. Happy to chat all the time.
Cool. Yeah, and that sounds really good. That sounds fantastic. So I would, if you got a wedding coming up and you need a photographer, keep your eye on More FM because we'll see Alan and Na's photos. I would imagine we'd see some of those.
Yes.
I can't wait for you to see your photos, Alan and Na. I can't wait for that. I'm looking forward to it. So that's quite an interesting project. That's going to be quite high profile in the next week or so. So you can do that. So I always ask people this, and this is probably very poignant to you because you've got Masterton and Me project. But what is your favourite thing about Wairarapa?
Ooh, isn't that interesting that I asked that question?
Well, this is Wairarapa. This is not just necessarily Masterton.
I think what I love the most about the Wairarapa is the landscape.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah, the mountains and the sky and all the things that we've talked about. It is stunning, and also the fact that it is so. It's just a wonderful place to bring up kids for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's the reason we chose to, bring our family back here. There's just so much to offer, everything to offer. You can find everything here that you need.
That's right. Yeah. It is. And there's such amazing, as I say, this can-do attitude, or this we're going to do this, and then it happens. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that happened. Yeah. You know? And you can see evidence of that in the past. So if you're part of this project, this is happening now, and you could be part of the history that people look back on in the, eons down the line when we've got holograms instead of photographs. I don't know, the hoverboards, and I don't know, whatever they'll be in the past. But anyway, thank you, Anna, for being a lovely, lovely guest.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. It's
been so interesting to talk to you and learn about your project and your photography. This is Nothing Personal, and I'm Nikki King, and we're part of the Wairarapa Women in Business Facebook group, which you can join if you're a woman and you're in business, which I said. And we meet up on Mondays. Not Mondays. We meet on the first Friday of the month. We don't meet on Mondays because I do this show. We meet on the first Friday of the month at Clareville Bakery. And we go and have a breakfast there at 8:30, which is lovely because you get to meet. There's been on average about 20 women there for the last couple of meets that we've had. And on the third Friday, we go to Don Luciano at the same time at 8:30, and you can go along. And it's a really supportive environment. Women go there and catch up with each other because quite often you're sat on your own at home working and you just want to get out and have a chat with someone. It's an ideal opportunity to go out and network. And we're sponsored by Sherry Smith from Hot Yoga for You. She's invested in this show because she believes in all the women that come on and all the people. Thanks, Sherry, for that. And my business picks up the other half, so that's Fuzzbox Designs. And we've got a great wealth of women. I know coming up soon is the Wairarapa Chamber Awards. There's a number of women out of our group in there. We've got Adi McMaster from Marty Girl. And we've also got Rachel Hanson, who's got Freedom Kids, and 3 Mile, and Lisa Portas. She's also, her business is up for an award too. And it was just great to hear that Jo Kempton, who's got Happy Belly Ferments, she's actually been in the Massey Awards, Food Awards. I think it was for the Artisan category. So congratulations to those people. It's really great to see our women doing well, isn't it? It's just really good. It's really amazing. So carry on with the good work, guys, and apply for those competitions. You never know where you're going to go with it. You've been listening to Nothing Personal with Nikki King, and we'll be back next week with another guest, and I'll probably be a bit more switched on. I'll know which mics to press. Sorry about that, Anna. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.